Good afternoon, everyone. Jason here. Today is October 23rd, and this is your aftermarket update. All right, so we had a good day here at the Oil Trading Group. The markets have been really active today. In fact, as I'm making this video, you can see that the price ladders are bouncing around just a little bit. You can also see on the price ladders the kind of day that we had here today. We were good on the CL, and we had a nice ES trade. Now, these numbers will be even better when you consider the fact that we talked early in the session today about expecting some increased volatility. The overnight session in both markets had been very active, and so it was our assumption that we would have an active trading day once we got into the RTH, or regular trading hour session, and that is indeed the case. If you look here, oil on the day is 392 ticks. Which is well above the 10-day and 20-day average. Right now, the ES is at 65 points, which is well above its 10 and 20-day averages as well. The point of that is this. These numbers that you see on top of the price ladder today are trading one lots. And so we cut the risk down considerably and went into trading one lot today just to account for the additional volatility. So when we started this morning on the CL, we talked about the fact that we'd been fairly extended. We had our overnight levels form up. And again, what we had talked about is the fact that we were leading into the open here today. You can see that the average here, or the tick range rather, was 178 ticks. You can go back one bar. It was 173 ticks heading into the open. And so again, that was right around the 10-day average, and also right around just above the 20-day average. The point is that we were a little concerned starting out on the day that given this aggressive nature of the push prior to the RTH session hours, that we could be looking for some aggressive moves. Also, we were a little concerned about range expansion to the downside maybe not occurring. If you turn on your overnight levels, you can see that your market maker levels gave you some real good support and resistance ideas heading into the open. And once the open arrived, we had our market maker levels form up. And so what we were looking at is the fact that the market opened above the structure signal, and we were only a few ticks away from the bottom. And so what we were really not interested in, obviously, is getting long today in the face of all this pressure. But I'm also was not that excited about shorting the structure signal given the big nature of the sell-off to the downside. So we waited just a little bit. Market opens up. We drew this box around this area where the lows had been previously, right? We had selected some lows here, and we knew that there was a retracement back up, spike up to this 85 area. Market sells off, comes back down. We did not immediately get short. We were watching this area, and then the market pulls up into this previous low, and then begins the rotation. And this is the place that we looked to get short, was here at 86. Now, we had a couple of reasons why we were looking to get short. One, we pulled back into these lows, and we could not rally up through it. We also have our kick the signal, pay the target idea, which is down here at 41. And it was our idea that we were going to be able to get down into this 86, then down through this 41. In fact, again, we were trading one lot. One of the things that we talked about in the trade, if you were in the trade room today, you'll remember, we talked about maybe looking to add to the position down there at 34, and then maybe hanging on down to 67 even, or maybe, let me turn these off again, or maybe all the way down to this extension one at, what is that, 69. We talked about that being a possibility as well. All right, so what we did is we actually got into the trade short here at 86. Market comes down, comes all the way down into your structure target. And, of course, we were trail stopping in. You had a really nice move down into this structure target that takes you all the way down into, 35, and then kind of rotates around just a little bit. And it was on this pullback that we get taken out. We pulled all the way back up to 61. And then the market begins the process of kind of rotational and comes all the way down to extension one. And really, by the time the day finishes up, we made a really aggressive new low. But again, we would have been able to take out that extension 1 target had we held on. Now, we didn't hold on, and I'm going to show you why here. Another reason for that, our lack of willingness to hold on. When you're going to see this same structure form here on the ES. So we ended up getting into an ES trade this morning that actually turned out to be the trade of the day. It was 10.25 points here. One of the things that we were looking at as the market opens up again, we're going to turn off your RTH session levels and turn on your ETH session levels. And you can see in the overnight session just the amount of structure that was provided going all the way into the open. The open was right, let's see, the open on the ES. Well, let's do it this way. The open on the ES right before is right there. And so you can see how the market really just played around your overnight levels very well. In fact, you had some really nice bounces from level to level. Now, going into the open, one of the things that we talked about it in the room this morning, that if we get down to our market structure extension 2, that price level will typically keep price action contained within that level on a day. However, because we had already hit that level prior to the RTH session, we were concerned that level may give up on the day. And so we were a little cautious, or at least I was a little bit cautious at the open. I wanted to wait for our market maker level, RTH session levels to form up. They do here right at the open. Market opens up here a little bit. We can't get through this swing high. Market continues to go, rotate around. We double bottom down here. And what I talked about in the trade room is that if the market gets down through this structure signal at 13, we were going to look for a little bit of a push back, and then I was going to get short on a pullback into that level. Market rotates down and rotates down just a little bit. It's hard to see. It's masked inside of this 5-minute bar. Market pushes back down, comes back up, and I thought, and you'll see this, I had a 3-point stop up at 16. It rallies up to 15.25 very quickly. In fact, I thought at the time that I might get swept out on that 3-point move. Again, we were trading one lot. Again, the lot size is important today as we were trying to minimize the risk in these real volatile conditions. And what we were actually looking for is a target down here to 93. All right, so we were looking for a target down here to 93. That's where your daily structure target is. Market comes down all the way into it. I get trail stopped out at 10 points, 10.25 points, versus taking the full 20-point target, which is what we were looking for. Anyway, it's a 10.25 point trade. It was a really handsome trade. The point is, though, remember I told you this structure. This hit down here, and again, that ends up being your dead low on the day for the ES as the market comes all the way back up. And so one of the things that I was afraid of on this CL move is once we hit down into this area, this happened after our ES trade did this exact feature, and so we hit here and bounced. And so I trail stopped myself out because I was afraid that this might hold price action like it did, that same level did on the ES today down here. So having said all of that, we had 2 really nice trades, one on the ES, one on the CL. It was the only 2 trades we took. We ended up with 1 lot trades at 82 plus ticks. This is back-to-back days with 82 tick winning days. These volatile markets are helping us, but they also provide you with the necessary concern that you should have when the market is this aggressively active. So it's, this kind of volatility, we talked again about this today, this type of volatility can be a double-edged sword, and you can have some really aggressive moves, but they can come and stop you out just as quickly. So you have to be careful. Again, our recommendation is that you try to minimize as much risk as you can on these volatile days, and then you try to go for more, right? Risk a little bit less, but try to go for more. And so again, that is how our day ended up here today. What I'm going to do is show you our 2 trades. Again, as we always do, you'll see me get in. I'll cut the trades down a little bit, speed up the tape, put some music behind it, and let you see where it is that we end up taking out our targets. So having said all of that, I'm going to let you watch the OTG trades of the day. All right, short 86. Short 86. I'm in 86. Stop is 97. Target is 41. 16 on the ES. Okay, I'm in at 13, stop 16. We'll see. Top of the hour right now. Target is 93 on the ES.